Hello guys, and welcome to this quick video for us to learn how to take the decision of how much structure of tooth we need to remove during our tooth preparation for single crowns or for restorations. You need to reduce more or it's okay already. So you need to decide that how much of tooth reduction you need to proceed with. This is very important. So let's see the factors affecting this. There are some factors that you need to consider always in your dental clinic. Just a few of them, and we are going to review them right now. Let's see this. So first, beyond this binary decision between crown or veneers, you need to understand the decision based on the mechanical needs of your restoration. So this is also very important. We know that adhesion is so much better for the enamel. So adhesion on enamel is better than adhesion on dentin. So this will also influence your decision. Let's see this very simply. So defining restorative volume, you have your lost tooth structure, then you have your prepared tooth structure, and then you have finally your restorative volume. Sometimes you need more restorative volume, so thicker biomaterial, sometimes you need less. So restorative volume is what? Is the overall amount of material needed to replace or enhance tooth structure to achieve final static, biologic, and functional goals. So very important concept right here. Low restorative volume, feldspathic glass ceramics, for example, usually high restorative volume when you need some mechanical resistance from this material. So reinforced cores, coping requires deeper axial reduction for strength and opacity. So darker substrates, you need more material to overcome the dark substrate to avoid having this final tooth looking dark. You need more light material thickness because the core of the tooth is now dark. So let's understand this. The three pillars of restorative volume is structural factors, of course, your mechanical needs, very important stuff, periodontal factors, so now you need to understand your biological width. We already have a video for the members commenting on how to calculate biological width on virtual patients. Very important. Then you need to understand where you want the depth of your margin. It's a deep margin or it's a shallow margin for your ideal restoration. So you need to understand that, and that's also related to the soft tissues. So the soft tissue conditions around this crown. That's why periodontal factors matter a lot. And of course, optical factors. Depending on the substrate, you need more thickness of material to overcome this dark color which is undesired. Okay, let's see this very quickly. We have now the preserved enamel where we need a low volume of material. If you lost enamel, then we need a high volume material because the adhesion in dentin is not so favorable. So don't forget this. This is one of the main reasons here, just summarizing for you guys. Optical factors, take a look at this, just like I told you. For non-discolored teeth, you need a lower volume of material because your substrate is not dark, okay? It's not dark here. If you have a darker substrate, like in the odontically treated tooth, for example, then most likely you need to overcome this for aesthetic reasons, and then you need a thicker layer of zirconia or ceramic materials, of course. All right, so this is related to the light transmission of the biomaterials. Very good. Periodontal biotype establishes subgingival tolerance, and that's why periodontal analyses are very important here. Do we have a thin biotype or do we have a thick biotype? This figure is overreacted, of course, but okay. So you are going to see the amount of keratinized tissue of your patients, of the gingival tissue of your patients. We have a video only on how to assess the keratinized tissue of the patients. Go back to this video if you need. Thick biotype are more predictable, are better. The prognoses are better, of course, because the results tend to be stable. All right, so this is also very important. The umbrella effect. So the mechanism of the umbrella effect, when core reinforced opaque restorations are used, light entering the cervical area is blocked. Okay, so this is also very important. No indirect light is reflected, and no transillumination occurs through dental and gingival tissues. So that's also a very important fact. Result, a visible dark shadow at the gingival margin, especially noticeable when the lip prevents direct illumination. All right, so all related to illumination, to the lightening effects of this restoration. So you need to consider all that as well. High strength glass ceramics break the rule. If you guys don't remember the mechanical resistance of each type of ceramics, we have a video only explaining this, telling you the indications and the mechanical resistance in megapascal of all types of ceramics. I will add this link here on the top right corner of this screen. It will show up at any point, at some point here in this video. All right, so you need to consider this as well. Sometimes you need high strength materials. All right, so this is very important here. The clinical decision matrix. It will depend your decision of material on structural factors, if you have enamel preserved or not, optical factors, your substrate, periodontal factors, your soft tissue biotype, if it's with characterized tissue or thin, and then this will tell us about your restorative volume. So this will tell us if you need to prepare more your tooth to receive a thicker material of restoration. Hope you guys liked. See you guys very soon.